Welcome to another episode of One Town, One Community. Today I'm joined with John from One Cup Coffee. John, how's it going today?
Today's a beautiful day. Thank you for asking.
Thank you for being here. To start us off, what three words would you use to describe your business?
So we're entrepreneurial. We're a people store, and we just continue to try to do the next right thing.
Cool. I read that you started it about 10 years ago. What was it like opening a small business in Norfolk?
So it's funny. I'm a Norfolkian. I was a born native Walpolean, and I made the scary trek to Norfolk about 14 years ago. But my wife and I were sitting at home, and the brewers had just come out, and we, my wife loved hazelnut. I love breakfast blend. Well, one time we got shipped Colombian, and I really didn't like it that much. And when we were sitting at home, my wife turned around and said, "Geesh, I wish we could buy them one cup at a time." So there jumped in the entrepreneurial idea. So hopped in the car, and I was driving up by what used to be the old knitting and kaleidoscope up here at 224 Dedham Street. And there was a sign on there that said store for rent. So, we grabbed a table, came in here and decided to open up the boxes and create a penny candy store for caffeine addicts where you can buy them one cup at a time, which is great, and we've been doing it now 10 years.
Awesome. So you saw that one and you just went for that location, or was there any other search for storefront?
Well, my wife and I, we didn't really have many options for storefronts that were local. And as soon as we drove by, I came in here and met Cal, the owner, and I said, "Listen, I got a really cool idea. If you give me a chance, I think it might work." And my first 50 or 100 customers said that, we weren't going to make it just selling, single cups. But here we are 10 years later, and it's been, a great, interesting, fun run.
That's awesome. You did touch upon this a little bit, but could you tell us a little more about your story? What made you want to start this business, and what keeps you going?
Well, generally speaking, when you buy a flavor in a household, you have to buy 24 of them. And if you don't like it, you're stuck with 23. Coming in and having the freedom to be able to pick out whatever you like actually works out a lot better for people, because someone in the house may be a decaf drinker. Somebody may be coming over that would want a hot chocolate or an apple cider, and that way you can really dial in. I mean, everybody has their coffee that they drink every day. But when they created the brewer, there's over 1,200 different flavors to choose from, but yet, we're all drinking the same thing most of the times. As soon as we turned around and allowed people to come in and pick a variety, everything opened up. And it's not just about, walking in there and randomly saying, "Geesh, what do I want out of 1,200 coffees?" We've been doing it 10 years. So what we try to do is find people's soul coffee, and we'll go in there and say, "Hey, which one do you generally drink?" And then we dial in. "Why don't you try this one? Because this is pretty close." Or, "Why don't you take a trip to France and we'll do some French coffee?" Or, "Geesh, you like that? Have you ever tried Peruvian?" And, we play around with all the different things we have here. You don't have to always be drinking the same thing every day.
Yeah.
It's an awful lot of fun.
Cool. What's your favorite part about being a small business owner in Norfolk, and what's the most difficult?
So Amazon is the most difficult, and people is my happiest part about, being here for 10 years. We're about people. We love people. We love people coming in and seeing our entrepreneurial store. We have many different little departments that are inside the store, and every time somebody comes in, there's something new. It's not, my favorite part is when somebody walks in the door, and this happens, it's 10 years later. I know if they've never been in the store before, because they'll turn around and walk. We call it deer in the headlight. They walk about 4 feet in the store. They look around and they look lost. They're like, "What just happened to me here?" And that's probably the most fun. It happened about 20 minutes ago again. And, working with no advertising, we have to earn all the business. Every time somebody comes in, we have to be like, hey, don't press a button online. Come here and see us, because every time you come in here, we're going to have something that's really cool.
Awesome.
We continue to add things that make people say why. And we like to turn around and say, why not? Let's give it a try. If it sells, then we'll buy more. And if it doesn't sell, we just won't buy that product anymore. So that's
So,
us.
why coffee?
Well, it originally started out in the single cup world. And, I'm a coffeeholic. My wife is a coffeeholic as well. So, I'm a 15 to 20 cup a day coffee consumer. And, when the single cups first came out, there was very limited amount of places that had all of them together. So, a grocery store or this one or that one, they would have 6, and then another one might have 12, and then another one might have 20. But we made a commitment a really long time ago to get as much as we could, as many different varieties as we could, keeping up with a standard of making sure that the coffees are of quality. So we bring coffee in from Wisconsin, which is dynamite, which people love. We have proprietary coffee here that's made in Manchester, New Hampshire, by a lovely little small family. And, we have lots of stories about, why their coffee is a little bit better. And, we actually help a lot of people figure out how to enjoy coffee a lot more. There are a lot of questions. There are a lot of things that people, you can't type it down on your keypad and turn around and ask the question and get an answer. You have to try it, so.
All right. So, the inside of your coffee, or the inside of your shop, is like a candy store for adults. Of all those choices, what's your favorite flavor?
So I'm the most boring of everybody. I just go with the breakfast one. I've always been I call it a dish rag coffee drinker. But one of the most important facts that most people don't know is, the lighter the roast, the more caffeine within the cup. So the reason why I gravitate towards just a traditional light, regular coffee every single time I go up there is because it has more caffeine.
I didn't know that.
That's my favorite one. But this morning, I started my day out with a pumpkin spice because it's that time. And, later on tonight when I go home, I'll probably tonight when I go home, maybe a Starbucks.
So, I noticed that you have a 4.9 out of 5 rating on Google reviews, and I'm pretty familiar with the food and beverage industry and just in general. That is pretty significantly high above average. It's pretty hard to get that high. Why do you think people love you so much, and what keeps them coming back?
We've earned everything organically over the past 10 years. We never ask anybody to recommend us or give it a review. We don't ever do that. But if you do the right thing and people have an exciting, time within your store, especially now, people want to write about it. We keep up with the big box retailers as far as costing goes, which has been extremely difficult over the past 10 years. But not only do we bring the value to the table, we bring the stories that go along with it. A small one that I'll let you know is we're always giving back locally here to the community. And a lot of the stuff we do, we don't tell anybody we do it because it's the right thing to do. So, people, the only time we really lose a customer is when somebody decides they don't want to drink single cup coffee anymore and they buy a regular brewer.
Your website mentioned something about the One Cup family. What's that all about?
So One Cup believes in doing business with people and families, both locally and also out of state. My daughter is considered Little Bean. My wife is, Nancy Bean. And then, I'm Java Johnny. So, we've always, had families working in here. My sister-in-law is the one who handles the bakery department. And my two newest employees, Diane and Christine, are sisters. So we like to do business at One Cup with people and people with sustainable stories. So
That's great.
that's the family part.
What is your experience like being a small fish in a big pond? And, there are a lot of coffee chain shops in the area. What makes One Cup Coffee unique?
So we are a single destination location. Nobody does what we do. Even though it's a $14 billion industry, we've decided to do it the way that people want it. And if you do I know I've said it repeatedly through this, but if you continue to listen to the customers and you continue to deliver, value, and you continue to, try to exceed what you've done the prior day, then people will continue to come back. I don't believe there's a store like this in the country anymore. When I first started, we had maybe about 150, 200 single cup stores that were all around because it was a new fad, just like the yogurt companies and all that other stuff. And, we're still here. And in order to be here, you have to be just more than, an average store. Pivoting, changing, adapting, and just listening to your customer. That's the most important part, and actually happens to be one of the fun parts of being here in Norfolk. I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere. There isn't any reason why somebody would ever go out and just stumble upon us. And, that word of mouth and giving people an experience when they come in, and, it's everything that we enjoy to do. Owning a brick and mortar store, especially now, is literally, impossible without listening to customers.
And is it hard work? What does your average day look like as the owner?
So we're 7 days a week, 9 to 6. And yeah, it's a grind, but it's an enjoyable grind. Like I said, it's very rewarding when you have somebody come in, and 90% of the time, people are laughing in here. They're going down, they're saying, "Oh my God, we got this one. Oh, what's this one?" And and you know what? When you create a store, an entrepreneurial store that makes people question why you're doing it this way and what is this, and how come a coffee store has sunglasses? Well, there's a story behind it, and then you jump out and you get to tell the story, and everybody's like, "Wow, I miss people." We're a people store.
So I guess that might play into this a little bit, but what's the most rewarding part about running a small business in Norfolk?
People. And that's it. I know I keep saying the same thing, but, running your own business, is very difficult, but, the reward you get from it is if you continue to do the next right thing and you continue to keep working really hard, then, you can make a living from it. My biggest motivation has always been my daughter and her college and getting her through. She's a junior, she goes to school at Stetson University in DeLand, Florida, but we decided to keep her home because of Florida and the way they've been lately, to put it mildly. And that's what, it's a really fun, surround yourself with good people and you have good products, you have a lot of fun. It's almost like, you shouldn't make any money. It's fun.
And now the age-old question, why Norfolk? What do you find special about this town?
So back about 5 years ago, we expanded One Cup Norfolk to One Cup Millis. We went on 109. We had a huge store over there for about 4.5 years. We kind of had a little bit of a falling out. We opened the store a little too close to this one, and lost, it was more convenient for a lot of people on the other side of town to go to Millis. Should have made the store a little bit further away in hindsight, but we decided to regroup make one superstore, expand the size of the location, and service everybody as much as we possibly could. If there is a future for future storage, it probably most likely will be in Florida. So I've only gotten a chance to go out on the boat once this year, so kind of like to get a little warm.
Hmm. Do you work with any other small businesses in the area?
Every single business that I work with pretty much is a small business, with all the peripheral products that we sell in here with coffee. Local small businesses over the years, yes. Like I was mentioning earlier, when somebody has a good craft item or something like that, and they come in, or, we're always open to working with local people in any way that we possibly can.
Cool. So anyone who's driven by One Cup Coffee probably noticed the coffee truck in the parking lot. Could you tell us a little bit about what your vision is for the future of One Cup Coffee?
So that's kind of a sad story. I always, I got a hold of that truck. It was absolutely beautiful. Went inside, made it perfect. It was going to be, called, Johnny's Bag of Donuts. We were going to launch donuts out of there, to people and service it. But, because of the pandemic and, all the events that have been canceled and, the lack of being able to hit payroll, I had to let that secondary dream go. We let her just go to a better home, where right now I believe she's out in Philadelphia. But, it was great. We worked on it for almost a year. We had high expectations of, going out and, having fun, the One Cup way. But, sometimes things don't work out. Doesn't mean, that it was a failure in any way. I think it was a big success because we keep trying. So.
Well,
Thank you for asking that question. It was kind of a hard one. But.
I'm sorry. So that kind of leads me into the next question. How has this whole pandemic affected you and your business?
All right. So, we were essential. And that didn't mean that anybody came to our store. But we had a decision that we had to make being essential because, when they did this stay at home, they allowed liquor stores to be open and grocery stores to be open. And under the regulations, when I checked with the town and the local state, we are beverage and we're a prepackaged beverage. So we were granted to be essential. Now, it was hard here. We watched about four seasons of The Tiger King in here on Netflix on the TV because no one came in, and that was what we were doing. And then, listening to customers, we started to dial into things that they could not get. So like I had mentioned to you earlier, we listened to customers. When there was no PPE to be had, we sourced it locally. And we made sure that anybody that needed sanitizer had sanitizer. Anybody who needed a face covering had a face covering. We actually gave away in the beginning 1,200 rolls of professional toilet paper for free, over 5,000 boxes of hand wipes to local Norfolkians and anybody who came in, and continued while we were going through the struggle. We would put coffee outside on the front for people that didn't have any money for any coffee. We gave away free bags, and just said, hey, you know what? We know things are tight. Grab a bag. If you know somebody who can't come out, who's out of coffee, give them a bag. And, it really was, beautiful thing in such a horrible circumstance. We dialed in ourselves personally here. We had a visit by the Board of Health. And, he was actually very, very surprised at how well we have done here at One Cup, to set up a safe environment for people to be able to purchase. He had asked me a lot of, different questions. And we brought in hanging, plastic in, in the beginning. We increased our ventilation inside here. We have sanitizing stations all over the store. And, he said, why'd you do all this? And I said, healthy people drink more coffee. So sick people don't. So, if you go on our Facebook, you will see people in the timeline that are going over and over again, we're a people's store. So number one is making sure that people have a safe environment that they can come into. That was number one on our list. Face coverings are mandatory. Everybody's wearing them that come in. And I think we've all together, we're doing good. We're doing the very best we can. When a customer comes in, I say, keep doing what you've done before, because it's working for all of us. It's working for me and it's working for them. So we'll just keep happy and drink coffee.
So that kind of answers my next question, but if you'd like to add anything, feel free. It was, in what ways does One Cup Coffee support the Norfolk community?
We've been supporting the community from day one, whether it was the Norfolk Vikings, whether it was the Boston Strong that had happened during that time, constantly giving back, because if you don't give, you don't receive. I will say during these pandemic times, it's kind of, people really have to look at all the small businesses like ourselves that gave so much over the years and, pay us one back. Come back in the store, spend a little with us, we need to survive. And I mean, the honest answer is anybody in Norfolk and any small business around this community, if you're open, that's the new up. And, we're all trying to just do our very best to, hopefully put 2020 in the rearview mirror, but get to the end of 2020. And, we're willing to adapt and pivot in any way possible. The number one has to be safety for everybody. And that's including, the employees that are here at One Cup. As soon as it happened, we immediately quarantined our employees to rotate on 4 weeks paid, 14 days paid. So no one at One Cup, there would always be somebody that would be available here if somebody didn't feel well to come in. And we did that at our own expense because we're a family. So, sick employees aren't good either. We do our very best to stay as healthy as we all can. So, and we're doing good.
That's great. Why do you think it's important to support small businesses, especially in this time of the coronavirus?
I'm sorry, I kind of missed that question a little.
Why do you think it's important to support small businesses, especially during these times?
Well, it's important because we're not going to be here. It's really important, generally speaking, when I go to drive home, it used to be a bus that I would drive behind all the time, but now it's an Amazon car. And no matter where I go, I see the Amazon trucks that are everywhere. And I understand that's very important for people who are back there, but us small retailers, us small family ones, we're still here. We're not going to quit. We have, integrity, and it's very easy to press a button and get it delivered to the door. But, please don't forget about the people that are here that, talk to you. I know everybody that's in Norfolk because, like I said, I've been here, and there isn't one of us that isn't having extreme difficulties. Especially in a world of, order it up on the phone and have it delivered to the door. We've lost, Norfolk, Rentham, Walpole. We've already lost some really big hitters we never expected to ever go away. And we all know who those people are. And, a little goes a long way with the small business. We're just people trying to pay for our daughters' colleges. We're not looking to, change the world. We're not looking for another comma in the bank account. We're just looking to continue to have fun with people coming into a store that, is doing the right thing and the next right thing.
That's awesome. You did mention that you tried expanding at one point. Is that something you would consider again? Would you like to hopefully maybe in the future open in another location?
In my future, Florida's on my mind. It's a long future away, but most of us New Englanders and the New Yorkers and the New Jersey people who like single cup coffee have made it to the villages in Florida. So I've been to that huge 55 and over community a bunch of different times. And, I kind of see myself delivering it in golf carts because everybody has a golf cart. And, but I mean, for right now, we're working as hard as we possibly can to make sure that we make payroll and, we continue to be here. 10 years is a long time. We've had some great years and we've had some real horrible years, but, no matter what it is, we keep trying. We're not going to give up. And, it's about providing something that, it's kind of looking like it's going away, so.
What final message would you want to send to the Norfolk community?
Come to One Cup and have a good time. Costs nothing. That's what we do. We're Willy Wonka land for caffeine addicts, and we have tons of other items that are in here that you wouldn't even dream of, wanting to buy online. So, we have coffees that are handmade in New Hampshire. We have other items in here that are baked that nobody else has. And come in and ask, hey, tell me a story about where you got this. Or, oh, that's kind of weird. Why do you have a bed in your store? Yeah, we got a bed, and what is an upside down umbrella? I mean, I didn't know, but I mean, there's a story on every corner. It doesn't make any sense. And, when you're a small business owner and you're an entrepreneur, that's kind of what you need to do. You need to find those things that people, really are like, wow, I heard about that, but this is great. I can actually touch it, and it's just a lot of fun. We're a group of great people that like to have fun up here. And, if we get the right product, then you'll have fun too.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, John. It was great talking to you.
Thank you, Tom, for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
And stay healthy.
You too. Have a great day.
You got it. You're the best. Bye-bye.